Hi and welcome back to another video. So about 3 weeks ago I purchased these what are called Xiaomi AI Glasses. I'm actually wearing them now from the Xiaomi store here in Shenzhen, China, as that is where I live. Now I made a video of my first impressions when I first bought them. I'll put a link to that up here or up here, whichever side it is. And that's done really well. That's got over 300,000 views as of today. And a number of questions arose in that video, but now I've had chance to use them. We're now 3 weeks on. I've had chance to use them. I want to kind of just tell you my honest opinions on them. This is not a specification and features video. This is just what I think of them and using them. Now, I wore them for 2 weeks straight. I actually had my own prescription lens fitted into these, which made them somewhat heavier. So the standard weight is about 400 grams, and I had my bifocal lenses put in, and that makes it 540 grams because my lenses are quite heavy. Now, I actually found that wearing them, after about 3 or 4 days of constant wear, it started to hurt a little bit just here. It started to dig in a little bit, but I took them off for a couple of hours, put them back on. As I say, I wore them for like 10 or 12 days straight. And I actually want to talk about how I found them. So overall, I found them pretty useful as a content creator. So the first thing is obviously the video. Now the video shoots in 2K and the quality is pretty good. It's pretty decent. I have a Mac, and now sometimes there's a problem with transferring it from your phone to the Mac because my phone's Android and my Mac is iOS. Now they do have an iOS version, so maybe I can download that and put it on my iPhone because I also have an iPhone. But there is an app for both Android and iPhone available. That was one of the questions. But I do find the video pretty good. I actually use WeChat to transfer the video, and I think that sometimes compresses it, so it might degrade the quality slightly. So I need to find a more efficient way of transferring it from my Android phone to my iOS MacBook, which is what I use to edit videos. The video shoots in 2K, and it shoots in a 4:3 format, which is really quite useful because you can put a 16:9, a standard landscape, and you can also extract a 9:16 from that, which is the good one for shorts. And I think that's an advantage over the Ray-Ban Metas, that you only get a portrait image from. So that's one thing. The other thing I found really good was the speakers. Now the speakers, I'm not exactly sure what technology they use. I think it might be a bone conduction technology, but they're very good. And one thing I personally like about them, over wearing earbuds, I also have some Apple Earbuds Pro, and I feel that when I'm wearing them, I'm a bit cut off from outside noises, and that's a big thing here now in China with such a lot of EVs, because they're very quiet when they're approaching. Whereas with using the speakers from these, I can still very easily hear the outside environment. So I really think that's a great thing. For videoing, they're much more useful than taking your phone out your pocket to record something. It's also very quick. You just quickly press this button here once and you start to record. A short press takes a photo and a long press takes a video, and I found that very useful, and it's especially useful as a content creator in situations where you don't have your hands free, so you can quickly click the button and then do things like have footage like when I'm driving. That was really good, and also like when I was ordering at a McDonald's ordering kiosk where I'm using both of my hands. I don't have to have a phone or a camera which I'm holding and pointing at the screen. So really useful for those kind of things. Now let's get on to the AI. I personally don't think these glasses are AI glasses. Realistically, they're a camera and a microphone and the headphones in a glasses frame, but that's about as far as the AI goes, I think. Everything else, for any other functions, it connects to your phone. Oh, just as a side, if you are actually using the glasses to take photos or video, you don't need to be connected to the phone. It will take the photo and video, and then what you do on the app, you actually download the images from the glasses to the phone. As regards battery life goes, you get about 8 hours if you're just sort of using them for different things like listening to music or taking photos, a bit of video. If you are taking video, the battery drains much faster, and if you take constant video, you get about 40-45 minutes before you need to charge. However, they come with quite a cool charging cable with an angled connector. I don't think you can see that angled connector there. Let's see if I can get focus on it. Maybe it won't focus, but the angled connector there, that allows you to plug into the back here. And what I do, I just slip a very sort of lightweight power bank into my pocket and have the cable running up inside my shirt and connecting to here. And that allows you to pretty much continue as much as you want, because you can actually use the functionality while it is charging as well. But back to the AI. As I say, I don't really think they should be called AI glasses. All the AI functions connect to your phone and use that. Now, I don't find they have a feature where you can look at something and you can ask it, what am I seeing? Now, personally, I don't find that feature very useful, because 99% of the things I'm looking at, I know what they are. And right now, these are the Chinese version, so you can only do that in Chinese. I don't speak a great deal of Chinese, so it's not that great for me. However, I think when they roll it out to the international markets, they will obviously have an English version. Actually, it does sometimes work in English, but it keeps reverting back to Chinese. It keeps forgetting it needs to answer in English, reverting back to Chinese. So it's a bit useless for that. But where I can see that would be good is for visually impaired people. So they could actually look at a scene and get the glasses. It takes a picture, it sends it to your phone. It then uses AI to analyze that image and then gives you the description of what it's seeing through the speakers on the glasses. It also has a translate mode, which can be useful for me sometimes. You can listen to somebody speaking in Chinese and it will give you the English translation in the speakers on the glasses. I do find to be totally useful, there's a little bit too much lag on that, so I tend not to use that. But what you've got to bear in mind, these are the first iteration, and the software is the first iteration. Hopefully they will improve on some of the things in future software updates or updates of the hardware. Now, I had some comments in the previous video where people say, oh, they're just a copy of Ray-Bans. I don't think that's necessarily the case. They're quite similar style, but at the end of the day, these are glasses with speakers and a camera. You can't really, and a microphone, you can't really do that much more. I think the resolution is somewhat better than the Ray-Bans, but as I say, they come with speakers and a microphone, and what I find them useful doing is actually connecting them to ChatGPT, and you can then speak to ChatGPT's AI or another one, or Grok's speech AI, using them as a microphone and speaker. So I think that's pretty good. So in conclusion, are they worth the money? Well, I paid 2,000 RMB. I bought them on the day of release. 2,000 RMB is about $280. I actually think they are worth the money. I think some of the features are not as good as in the advertising spiel, but as I say, they are first generation. They will get better. These are not the type with a screen in. It's purely only the earphones and microphone and camera. There's no screen in the lens. So those are kind of two distinct different categories of glasses. You have the ones that have a screen within the lens, and you have these type which are like the Ray-Ban Metas. I'll be interested to see what the Ray-Ban Oakleys are like. They're apparently a higher resolution. They may be better. All the time these companies release a new version, they're getting better because they're learning from the previous one. But I think the real killer is when Google bring out theirs and they track what you do every day. So you can look at something in the morning and then ask questions like, oh, you know, was there a certain book on that bookshelf that I looked at? And Google will give you that answer because it will look back at what you've seen with the glasses. That does mean the Google Cloud is monitoring all the time what you're looking at and what you're saying. So there will be people who have privacy issues with that. Anyway, that's my honest impression. I do like them. I will be using them for certain shots within my videos as a content creator. I do find them fairly useful. The image, just one other thing before I go, the image stabilization. If you're walking, the image stabilization is pretty good. But what you have to remember when you're moving your head side to side, you actually move quite quickly. And there's not really much stabilization on that. I think it would be good if, like, let's say the DJI Osmo Action, they have a horizon stabilization. And I think that would be great to implement in something like these. So you can tilt your head, you know, the horizon stabilization on the Action allows you to go up to 45 degrees and it'll keep the horizon steady. And I think that would be something that would be great in these glasses, that you could turn that on or off. A number of you commented in that first video, the video seemed to be on a tilt. That is actually me. I generally have my head on a bit of a tilt, so obviously the glasses are on a tilt. That's something that I can fix in post. Anyway, that's my honest opinion on the glasses. I'm actually quite pleased with them. It really depends what you want to use them for, but for 2000 RMB, I personally think they're worth the money, and I think I will be using them in the future. Anyway, that's my take, but for now, I'll see you in the next one, so take care.